Skol Nation, stop scrolling right now. US Bank Stadium is shaking with breaking news, and one fact is already burning through the locker room. $54 million. A cornerback just fell off a cliff. The front office is under siege from the fan base, and a beloved veteran might be playing his final snaps in purple. Insiders have been whispering for weeks, and here's the first payoff. That $54 million investment? It just became the most scrutinized contract in the entire NFC North. If you Skol louder than you breathe and hate the Packers more than you love sleep, smash that like button right now. We start with the defensive collapse that nobody saw coming. Stay locked, because there's a double cliffhanger at the end that will make Green Bay nervous. Silent collapse. The kind that doesn't scream on the stat sheet but bleeds on the film. The name? Byron Murphy Jr. And here's why this changes everything for Minnesota's defense. Last season, Murphy was elite. 81 total tackles, 6 interceptions, 14 pass breakups, and a Pro Bowl selection that felt earned, not gifted. The Vikings saw that tape and didn't hesitate. 3 years, $54 million. That's the kind of money you pay a cornerstone, not a corner who disappears. Fast forward to right now, week 13 of this season, and Murphy has 0 interceptions, 3 pass breakups, 6 penalties, which is more than he had all of last year when he only got flagged 4 times. The passer rating he's allowed? North of 100.0 across every metric you check. Pro Football Focus watched every snap and dropped his coverage grade nearly 20 points compared to last season. He went from 22nd among all cornerbacks last year to 90th entering this week. That's not a slump, that's a crater. But here's the hidden wound that explains the fall. Last season, Murphy spent 32.6% of his snaps in the slot, where he could roam, react, and be closer to the action. This year, 18.6%. He's been pushed outside more because Jeff Okudah missed time, and the Vikings don't have enough bodies at corner. Murphy's superpower was his versatility, lining up inside and outside with equal violence. That's been stripped away, and now he's literally further from the ball on most plays. Targets have dried up. Impact plays have vanished. And the entire defense is feeling it. Remember, Minnesota had 33 takeaways last season, tied for the league lead. This year, 9 takeaways through 11 games. 5 of those came in one game against Cincinnati back in Week 3. Over the last 6 games, the Vikings have generated just 2 takeaways, and they've lost 5 of those 6 contests. You think that's a coincidence? Murphy's disappearance is a symptom of a bigger disease. When your highest-paid cornerback isn't making plays, the entire secondary suffers. Quarterbacks stop testing him, which means they're hunting other Vikings, and those matchups aren't holding up. Do you think Byron Murphy Jr. is still a top-tier corner, or did the Vikings overpay based on one elite season? Drop your honest take below. And if you believe this defense needs Murphy to wake up if Minnesota wants any shot at the playoffs, smash that like and let Packers fans know the North isn't over yet. But as devastating as Murphy's fall is, the next story cuts even deeper into the foundation of this franchise. Because while fans are screaming for accountability, the man who built this roster just got a lifeline that some believe he doesn't deserve. Front office chaos is brewing, and it's about to explode. Pitchforks raised, torches lit. The fan base wants blood, and they know exactly whose name to scream. Who made the call to draft J.J. McCarthy in the first round? Who built this roster that's now 5-6 and spiraling? The target is locked. Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, Minnesota's general manager, and Viking Nation wants him gone. But here's the wrinkle that changes the entire conversation. He's not going anywhere. Adofo-Mensah signed a contract extension back in May of this year, one that kicks in next season. The Vikings just committed to him long-term, and you don't fire a GM less than a year after handing him an extension. It doesn't matter how loud the fan base screams, ownership isn't pulling that trigger. Not yet. Not even close. But let's talk about why fans are furious. J.J. McCarthy, 6 career starts, 2 interceptions against the Packers in Week 12. The kid looks lost, and fans want someone to pay for it. Adofo-Mensah physically made the call to draft McCarthy 10th overall in 2024. That's his decision. his responsibility. And right now, it looks like a disaster. But here's what fans are missing in their rage. One decision doesn't define a general manager, and Adolfo Mensah has made far more hits than misses. This past offseason alone, he signed Isaiah Rodgers and Will Fries, both of whom have been solid contributors. He brought in Ryan Kelly, who, when healthy, plays at a Pro Bowl level despite dealing with concussion issues. In the draft, first-round pick, Donovan Jackson looks like a future anchor on the offensive line despite missing time with injuries. Dallas Turner, another draft choice, has become one of the team's top pass rushers over the last month. And let's not forget last year's home runs. Adolfo Mensah signed Sam Darnold, who saved the Vikings' season at quarterback when everything else was falling apart. He found Jonathan Greenard and Andrew Van Ginkel in free agency, giving Minnesota the elite pass rush that's been the only bright spot on defense this year. Those aren't lucky guesses. Those are smart decisions by a GM who knows how to evaluate talent. This is a rumor, but according to sources close to the organization, Adolfo Mensah wasn't even responsible for McCarthy's development plan. That falls on head coach Kevin O'Connell. The GM drafts the player, the coach develops him. McCarthy was a winner in college, which translates well to the pros on paper. Adolfo Mensah did his job. The development side, that's on someone else. But perception is reality in the NFL, and right now, the perception is that Adolfo Mensah is failing. Fans don't care about contract extensions or development plans. They see a 5-6 record, a struggling rookie quarterback, and a defense that can't generate turnovers. They want accountability, and they want it now. Do you think Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah deserves to keep his job, or should the Vikings move on after this season despite the extension? Comment your verdict below. And if you believe the front office has the right pieces in place and just needs time, hit that like button and prove the national media wrong about this team. But while the front office drama swirls, there's another story that hits closer to the heart of this franchise. A fan favorite, a Pro Bowler, an undrafted free agent who clawed his way to becoming a Minnesota legend. And his time in purple might be running out. The next name will hurt. Undrafted, undersized, unwanted by 32 teams in 2016. The Minnesota Vikings saw something nobody else did and signed him anyway. He switched from running back to fullback, fought his way off the practice squad, and became a fixture in purple for nearly a decade. 2 Pro Bowl selections, countless crushing blocks, a heartbeat in the locker room. The name? C.J. Ham. And the Vikings might be about to let him walk. Ham's been on the roster since 2017, a consistent presence in an offense that's changed coordinators, quarterbacks, and philosophies multiple times. But here's the brutal reality. The fullback position is dying across the NFL. Less than half the teams in the league even carry a fullback on their active roster anymore, and the ones that do barely use them. The only real exception? The San Francisco 49ers, with 9-time Pro Bowler Kyle Juszczyk. Everyone else is moving toward fullback-free football. Ham's usage this season tells the story. In Week 5 against the Browns, he took 18.5% of offensive snaps. Week 6 against the Eagles, 17.4%. Week 9 against the Ravens, just 10.8%. The last 2 weeks saw a spike, 31.8% against the Packers and 27.8% against the Bears, but that's more about injuries and desperation than a shift in philosophy. When Ham is on the field, he's effective. He's a bruising lead blocker who opens lanes for Aaron Jones and Cam Akers. But here's the question ownership is asking. Is that worth $4.325 million per season? That's what Ham is making right now under his current contract, which expires this March. He's set to hit free agency along with nearly 20 other Vikings, including Harrison Smith, who's likely retiring, and Adam Thielen, who might join him. Ty Chandler, the third-string running back on injured reserve since Week 1 with a knee injury, is almost certainly gone. Wide receiver Jalen Naylor might have to find a new home if Minnesota signs Jordan Addison to a long-term extension. And Ham? He'll be 33 years old when the 2026 season starts. He's already missed more than half of this season with multiple injuries. Even if the Vikings could re-sign him for less money, is it worth it for a player whose position is becoming extinct and whose body is breaking down? Probably not. This is a rumor, but according to a source familiar with the team's cap planning, the Vikings are prioritizing younger, more versatile players this offseason. The front office wants to build around speed and flexibility, and a traditional fullback doesn't fit that vision. Ham's leadership and locker room presence are irreplaceable, but the NFL is a business, and sentiment doesn't win championships. Do you think the Vikings should bring C.J. Ham back? Or is it time to move on and join the fullback-free trend? Drop your thoughts below. And if you believe Ham deserves one more year in purple after everything he's given this franchise, smash that like and let the front office hear you. But as heartbreaking as Ham's potential departure is, the next 72 hours in Minnesota are about to get even more intense. Because the season isn't over, the playoff race is still alive, and one more move could change everything. 3 stories, 1 storm. The cornerback collapses, the GM survives, and the fullback faces extinction. Murphy's $54 million fall exposes a defense that can't generate turnovers. Adolfo Mensah keeps his job despite the fan base screaming for blood. Ham's era in purple is ending. If you believe the Vikings can still make the playoffs, smash like. Drop your hottest take below. Subscribe and make Packers fans furious. But here's the cliff. Murphy faces his former team next, and a players-only meeting just happened. Skol Nation, we ride together.